Black History Month. What's the first thing that comes to mind when you hear that? Through some research, I have an idea of what Black History Month is. But, in all honesty, I hadn't even heard of it until a few years ago. So how would I know what it's like to celebrate these lives, face these obstacles, and constantly persevere for a better future? I simply don't, and I can't, which is why I decided to ask those that experience it on a daily basis to further educate myself. So, what does Black History Month mean to you?
To me, Black History Month is a time to reflect on those who have laid the groundwork for Black excellence to be achieved today. I think of leaders such as Rosa Parks, W.E.B. Du Bois, and Dr. King. It is also a time to celebrate current leaders that continue to break barriers and create change through leadership in their own unique avenues. I think of leaders such as Ava DuVernay, Amanda Gorman, and the late Virgil Abloh. Most importantly, Black History Month is also a time to focus on uplifting our leaders of the next generation, whose names are currently unknown to the masses. It is a time to celebrate their work and celebrate the greater movement towards building equity in all facets of American life. As an athlete in a sport that lacks diversity, I've looked to many of these leaders for guidance. Their work is not specific to just my Black brothers and sisters, but something we can all learn from, regardless of race.
During this month, we take the time to reflect, appreciate, and highlight the contributions of Black Americans throughout history. As a Black athlete, I have been immeasurably motivated by so many of the great Black athletes that have come before me. Jesse Owens, Serena Williams, Jackie Robinson, to name a few. And in my own sport, Gabby Douglas, Dominique Dawes, and of course, the greatest gymnast of all time, Simone Biles. To see someone who looks like you excel in your sport, and not only that, but to be one of the best has an enormous impression on a young kid. These athletes have paved the way for us to continue to inspire the next generation. Black History Month is not only a time to celebrate and acknowledge Black excellence and its influence on our society throughout our culture, but also a time to celebrate diversity and inclusion as a whole.
While there is a lot of Black excellence to celebrate, it is to my understanding that we can't do that without first acknowledging the hardships that the Black community has experienced throughout history. With you two being so accomplished, what are some of the obstacles that you have faced along your journey?
Black History Month stands as a great reminder of how far we have come, but also how far we have yet to go. Modern-day racism can often go unnoticed. As a young kid growing up in a community lacking people of color, it often did for me. In an athletic context, I've had coaches comment that I need to straighten my hair for meets because it looked more professional. I've had teammates comment that I should be good at the power events, like vault and floor, because of the color of my skin, and others who have claimed that I'm only athletic because I am Black. While these microaggressions are minor in comparison to the discrimination faced by my ancestors and the Black athletes that have come before me, it just goes to show that they still happen today.
Modern racism is often channeled as implicit bias. A time for reflection on how much growth is left should not be specific to just 1 month. Yes, Black people can swim. No, you cannot touch my hair. No, this is not my white voice. And yes, I do have to put on sunscreen. Expressing my Blackness is something that lies within the individual. However, experiencing implicit bias is fully universal. Change is first made by acknowledging another's perspective and potential lived experiences. Not belittling one's success, but celebrating the differences that have led them to those achievements. Only then can we become better listeners and see the best in each other, and fully respect one another in a manner that will unite and not divide.
Lastly, how would you suggest that we can overcome these challenges together? And how would you invite everyone to celebrate Black History Month?
It is about having tough conversations with a genuine interest in learning from each other. Change begins when we work together, and that won't happen if we are not collectively open-minded. We must value educating ourselves about different cultures and promoting positivity within our respective communities.
At the end of the day, it all comes down to respecting each other. And not only that, but taking the time to truly understand one another and where people are coming from. While we may not be familiar with the challenges that someone faces, we can at least try our best to be there for them and support them in the process. That's where we can start.